Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys that I'm sure is going to get some people's blood boiling. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as you guys are fully aware, Gilbert Arenas is one of the biggest voices out there in sports media, at least in the internet, right? He has his own shows. I believe he has 2 shows, if I'm not mistaken. And periodically, he goes on other shows to talk about basketball. And one of those shows that he goes on is Vlad TV, right? Vlad TV, which has a very, very significant platform. I think Vlad's channel gets around 50 million views a month, right? So Vlad has a very vast platform that gets a tremendous amount of views, right? Now, yeah, so whenever Gilbert goes there, usually they talk about a range of things, but, you know, Vlad usually talks to him more about basketball. And what surprises me, I mentioned this in the comment section, and I'm going to say it again, I'm quite surprised of just how little Vlad knows about basketball. I'm quite surprised at that. Like, Vlad really doesn't know much about basketball. Usually when these NBA players go up there to discuss basketball with Vlad seems to be very, very confused. He's like, oh, wow, really? I didn't know that. Really? Wow, really? Whoa. And to me, it makes the interviews a little bit weird because usually, you know, and I'm obviously saying how to conduct interviews. I mean, Vlad has been doing this for well over a decade now, and he has the track record to at least show that he knows what the hell he's doing. But I'm just saying that if you're interviewing someone about a particular subject, it would help if you understand a little bit about that subject, because it makes some of the questions a little less cringy, you know. So when these NBA players are explaining things to him, he's like, wow, really? I didn't know that. Wow. I'm like, Vlad, man, this is rudimentary stuff, man. This is basic stuff, right? Basic stuff. So that's essentially what happened today, right? Or yesterday, however you want to call it. An interview was released where he was talking to Vlad about, you know, one-on-one players going against each other. And Vlad was asking him, if this guy versus this guy, this guy versus this guy, this guy versus this guy. And then it got to the part where Vlad asked him, hey, who would win in a one-on-one? I mean, first of all, before we even get to that, he was like, well, let's just do it like this. Nikola Jokic versus Larry Bird, because they're both white. I'm like, what? Like, what? Well, let's Allen Iverson versus Shaq. They're both black. Like, oh my Lord. But anyway, he was asking him a bunch. Oh my God, I can't even get over that one. Oh my Lord. I can't even get over that one. What? Anyway, so they were talking about it, and he said, what about Larry Bird versus LeBron James? And what Gilbert Arenas said, I believe, will totally shock a lot of people. So what we want to do is we want to play what Gilbert Arenas' answer to that question was, and then we'll really come back and unpack this thing. Take a listen to what Gilbert Arenas had to say there.
Okay. So if you look at eras, when you look at like the GOATs of the eras, right?
That's how it should be. The GOATs for those eras.
GOATs for those eras. Let's just look at eras. Magic Johnson in his prime versus Michael Jordan in his prime. Who would win?
On what?
One-on-one.
Michael Jordan.
Okay. Michael Jordan in his prime, Kobe in his prime.
Michael Jordan.
So Jordan versus LeBron.
Jordan.
Okay. So you would say overall Jordan's the best player ever.
But see, that's not how you do it, right?
No.
Because you have one-on-one players, and then you have team basketball players, right? So,
okay.
Like Jokic, right? You put Jokic in a one-on-one scenario, right? He'll probably lose that, right? You pick, and this is why he probably win in the second round. You're going to try out. You're doing one-on-one workouts. You're doing 1 versus 1. You're doing by yourself workouts. You don't look sexy. Your skill level, what you're great at, does not show here. Now I put 9 other players on your floor. Now your genius comes out. Now what makes you a number 1 pick, a future Hall of Famer, comes out in those categories. So, you know, the game is different for different players. Jordan, Kobe, they're one-on-one juggernauts, right? So it's you can't compare him with LeBron. LeBron is not a one-on-one player. He's like Jokic. He's a team guy. He's a 5-on-5 type of player.
I see what you're saying. So, like, for example, if you put a one-on-one game, you know, if you want to go racial with it, if you want to go Jokic versus Larry Bird in their prime.
Larry Bird? See, that would be Larry Bird.
Yeah. Because he's just a more skilled, you think, player on the court, one-on-one?
He was built more of a one. Larry Bird would probably beat LeBron one-on-one.
Really? Larry Bird would beat LeBron
One-on-one?
James one-on-one. Ooh.
Because one-on-one, it takes away from everything LeBron has, right? His physical strength, his speed, right? And, you know, all that power he has going. Well, in one-on-one, you're talking about 1-2 dribbles. That's not his
corners. And
that's not his game.
Yeah.
That's Larry's whole game. LeBron needs to back up, and then I'm going to use all my physical attributes to come at you. So now if the game started at the 3-point line, now you're talking about a whole different. I mean, if you're talking about half court, if it started at the half court and we have as many dribbles as we want, then it changes. Then LeBron just excels to probably, you know, number one-on-one player of all time, but it's usually, you know, spots, 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull up, 2 dribble get to the rim. That's not his game.
So you heard what Gilbert Arenas said. He said that he believes that in a one-on-one battle, if Larry Bird and LeBron James faced off against one another, he believes that Larry Bird would be the one that would come out on top. And I was very surprised to hear him say that. Not because Larry Bird wasn't a hell of a player. Larry Bird was a hell of a player. Larry Bird's career average is 24 points a game, 0.8 blocks, which is incredible. Almost a block per game. 1.7 steals, 6.3 assists, 10 rebounds at the small forward position. Larry Bird averaged 10 rebounds at the small forward position, was an 87% free throw shooter for his career, 38%, 37.6%, we're going to round it up, 38% three-point shooter from the three, 49.6% field goal shooter. I think that's pretty much on par with Michael Jordan, right? You know, and played average about 38 minutes a game. And he's a multiple-time NBA champion. I think he's a 3-time NBA champion, if I'm not mistaken. Larry Bird, 2-time Finals MVP, 3-time regular season MVP, made multiple All-Star teams. And with LeBron, we all know LeBron, 4-time NBA champion, 4-time Finals MVP, led the league in scoring, you know, accolade, led the league in assists, so many different accolades. We all know them, right? Number 1 leading scorer of all time. But when Gilbert Arenas said he would pick Larry Bird, I found that to be pretty interesting, right? I find that to be pretty interesting. Now, Larry Bird, funny enough, I think him and LeBron James are the same height. LeBron on NBA.com is listed at, how tall do they have him? 6'9". Larry Bird is also listed at 6'9". Now, his playing weight, they have Larry Bird at 220. So Larry Bird was a bit slim. And they have LeBron, well, at least right now, I think LeBron must be, okay, they have him at 250. So LeBron does have the size to play against, he has a weight advantage on Larry Bird. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the determinant, because he would also have a weight advantage against MJ. And MJ, he picked MJ to beat LeBron in a one-on-one. But I think we may be selling LeBron a little bit short here, because LeBron is, I've seen LeBron's post game is not as polished, obviously, as MJ or Kobe or these guys, but LeBron does play a little bit of bully ball, right? I've seen LeBron back dudes down, put his shoulder into them, spin off of them. LeBron also, if he gets into the triple threat position, I think because of his strength, he will be able to absorb contact very well and then be able to find his way to the cup and lay the ball in. So LeBron is very good close to the basket. In fact, he made most of his money, getting shots close to the rim. He shoots an extremely, extremely high percentage at the rim, right? That's the other thing. The other thing worth taking into consideration is also this. Larry Bird only made 3 all defensive teams. Just 3. And those were second teams. In the case of Jordan and these guys, you're talking about all-world, all-time defenders. Kobe Bryant tied for first. I think he's tied for guards for most all first selections. He made 9 all first defensive teams, 12 total. Jordan made 9, if I'm not mistaken, and he got a defensive player of the year. So those guys are elite two-way players. So I might have to disagree with Gilbert Arenas on this one. I would actually have to give the edge if it was a one-on-one game. I would probably give the edge to LeBron. Now, some people would disagree with me, but I think LeBron would probably win that one-on-one matchup. Now, some people say I could be wrong or whatever, but I definitely think that. So, the question is simply this. In a one-on-one matchup, a game of 21 or however you want to call it, 7 or whatever, 14 or 15, whatever, who do you think wins? Do you think it's LeBron James or do you think it's Larry Bird? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.